1, 2, 3.
You good boy. You an angel. Should you be at the top of the Christmas tree? All right, ready? On today's episode of Free Unsolicited Cooking Knowledge, I'll be making Land O'Lakes butter cookies. Isn't that right? I'm sorry. I hurt my wrist. I can't hold you. Welcome back, Little Spoons. If you are new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button because I'm what? The missing ingredients to your kitchen. On today's episode, as you saw, I am making one of my favorite holiday cookies, and that is the Land O'Lakes butter cookies. And this recipe and I go back nearly 20 years. I discovered this recipe on the inside of a Land O'Lakes butter box, and basically it has become a Christmas tradition ever since, and I really want to share that with you. So if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's get into it. All right, the first step that we're going to do, you don't have to do it right away, but I'm gonna do it right away because I always forget, is to preheat your oven to 400 degrees, and I will go do that. Now that your oven is preheated, I just wanted to explain a little further about this recipe. I used to have the original recipe that I found on the inside of a butter box. I cannot find it for the life of me, but I did find an old Land O'Lakes recipe for chocolate chip cookies and I think chicken. So I just wanted to show you I still have the original box, so much so that they still have the First Nations lady as their logo. Yes, they have upgraded it. They have gotten rid of the cultural appropriation that was their logo, thank God, or else I couldn't really support this company. I do love their butter, as you know, but this is an old box, and basically on the bottom, it was like a box, and basically on the bottom, it would show you the recipe on the inside. And when you opened it, you had the recipes on the inside. This was the same thing for the butter cookies. This is how I discovered it, essentially. But these are two different recipes. I just kind of wanted to show you how they did come back in the day. But that's where I got this recipe, and I've been making it since high school, so we're talking about almost 20 years now. And it's very easy, very delicious, obviously high in fat, but I don't care. It's the holidays, and I'm here for delicious comfort foods. Anyway, the first thing you're gonna need is your mixer bowl, and we're going to be mixing all of the wet ingredients, including the butter. So the first thing you're gonna need is 1 cup of softened Land O'Lakes butter. So I have my bowl, I have my butter. Also, I would just like to mention that 2021 marked 100 years of Land O'Lakes being in business, which is crazy. And one day they will sponsor me, I hope, because I have an entire freezer full of their butter. Also, it's very nostalgic for me. It just reminds me of my grandma because this is the brand that she would buy. I am just cutting these into pieces and throwing it in so it mixes a lot easier. So we're doing 1 cup of salted Land O'Lakes butter. Also, you can use whatever butter. It doesn't have to be Land O'Lakes. I'm just following tradition to the recipe when I discovered it. Also, 1 stick of butter is 1/2 cup. There are measurements on the side if you are not familiar with that. I'd like to explain things hopefully a little further because I feel like a lot of popular cooking shows kind of assume you know, and until I really started focusing on learning how to bake and cook, I learned all these things along the way. So let me save you some of the grief and just let you know. And usually a box of butter comes with 4 sticks, so you have 2 cups. All right, so we have the 1 cup of butter cut into little bits. The next ingredient is going to be 1 cup of sugar, and I am going to sift it because I can't remember if it was the last episode I found something in the sugar.
It was.
It was? Okay, we're just making sure. Okay. Right, we have a level cup of white granulated sugar. Also, this helps because there are chunks. I just would like to say there are just chunks of sugar. Just shake that in. Also, doing the sifting does break up the bigger chunks. Okay, so the sugar has been sifted. Now the next ingredient is going to be 1 large egg, and I'm gonna break that into a separate bowl. Always do that, you never know what's in it. Take out my 1 egg, just cracking it in another measuring cup that I have. All right, we are clear. All right, I'm just getting a fork and just kind of breaking up that yolk. You can skip all these steps. I'm just very neurotic when it comes to baking. All right, going in. Okay, so the instructions with the Land O'Lakes butter does mention to mix this on a medium speed, get it all mixed in, scrape down the sides. I do not know how well this is gonna mix. I feel like the butter is kind of hard. It's not like softened butter. It's kind of cold in my kitchen, so that's what happens when you're in a basement in the middle of a Canadian winter. All right, I'm just gonna stir. Okay, it's actually mixing quite nicely. This is what we're looking like. I'm gonna up it just a little bit. I think it blended kind of nicely. So the next ingredient is going to be 2 tablespoons of orange juice. I haven't really come across many, I guess, cookie recipes that use orange juice. Usually it's like orange zest or yellow, or lemon zest. But never orange juice. So I think it is easier to do orange juice versus zest, only because like I just drink orange juice on the side anyway. So here we are, simply orange, pulp free for all the psychopaths in my house, like Cody. I absolutely love Grove Stand. I want to feel like I'm eating an orange when I drink my orange juice, okay? All right. So 2 tablespoons of orange juice going in very carefully. 1. Oh. We did a little extra. It's fine. And of course, most cookies use vanilla extract. So here I have no name brand, vanilla extract, not sponsored yet. I'm manifesting all the yellow companies to sponsor me. All right, 1 tablespoon. Going in. Beautiful. All right, and the instructions state to kind of mix this for a couple of minutes on low before adding our next ingredients. So again, we're locking and we're gonna start off with a stir. All right, it's a little grainy. I'm just gonna scrape down the sides and then I'm gonna probably mix it again. It smells really delicious. The smell of vanilla and orange juice is like actually pretty incredible. Just saying. All right, we're going on low again. Alrighty. So now that we have kind of mixed like all the wet ingredients, I'm gonna start adding my dry ingredients. And the next ingredient going in is going to be all-purpose flour, and I believe we need 2 cups. Oh, scratch that, 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour. Right, 1, 2, and I switched to a 1/2 cup for that last half. And the last ingredient is going to be 1 teaspoon of baking powder. Again, we're doing a level teaspoon. Sift, sift, sift. Now that that is done, I'm locking this back in place. Locking that, and I'm just gonna start with a stir so that like the dust doesn't go everywhere. Here we go. That's what we're looking like. I'm just gonna up the speed a bit. We are done. Okay. There we go. All right. All right, we are all mixed. I'm scraping down the sides. Now the next step is to split this dough into 3 equal parts, put them in plastic wrap. I just put them in Ziploc bags. I kind of flatten them out a bit, and they're supposed to sit in the fridge for 2 to 3 hours. I never wait that long. I usually put in the fridge for like 30 minutes, nothing crazy. This is just because obviously with the friction of mixing, the butter starts to slowly melt, it becomes too soft, and putting it in the fridge for 2 to 3 hours puts it back in that hardened state. Like I said, it's cold down here. It is smooth, but it's not like really soft. That usually 30 to 45 minutes does the trick. So I am creating a ball, if you will. Oh my God. I have a really bad volleyball injury on my wrist right now, and it's extremely hard to do anything basic. Of course, before the holidays. Cody, you're gonna have to learn to bake.
So these videos are getting made.
You can do all the hard work. Okay. Got my first bag here. Okay. A nice little ball. Just one giant cookie. And we're just kind of flattening this. And we also flatten it because when we take it out to roll it, it's just easier to start the roll on something that's flat instead of a giant ball. All right, 1. They're not going to be perfectly even, and that's okay. Oh, yeah, that's a little big. Oh, it's a big boy. All right. All right, these are going in the fridge for 30 to 45 minutes, maybe longer. Doesn't matter. You can also prep this the day before you want to start baking. Once that's in the fridge, I'm going to clean this up and then I'm going to show you what to do next. All right, now that your dough is in the refrigerator, the next step on the Land O'Lakes ingredients list is to make the icing sugar. You can make it after you're done baking, but because I'm waiting anyway for the dough to firm up, I might as well make my frosting. So the first ingredient you're going to need is 3 cups of powdered sugar. And I would just like to say it's also known as confectionery sugar. Honestly, for Christmas, I think I'm just gonna buy myself containers for all my baking ingredients. I just have nowhere to really put them. Anywho, we're gonna do 3 level cups. Oh my God, I hope I have enough. 1. Also, I cleaned my bowl here. I'm gonna sift that in. 2. And 3. Just making sure it was level. Making it snow. All right, so we have 3 cups of sifted powdered sugar. The next ingredient is to do 1/3 cup of softened butter. What I love is that it does show you where 1/3 of a cup is, so you could just cut that directly and you know you're doing the right measurement. And of course, I'm gonna cut it into like little slices. Oh dear, it's rolled away. I realize now I should have kind of mix the butter first. Oh well, it's fine. It's fine. It'll all blend, I think. Now that you have 1/3 cup of softened butter in there, the next ingredient is going to be 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract. Scratch that, it's 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. I almost messed it up for all of us. There we go. Next ingredient, it says to do 1 to 2 tablespoons of milk. I don't have milk, I have cream, so I'm just gonna do that instead. So Cody, can you grab the cream? Thank you. There we go. That is it for the frosting ingredients. So I'm putting on my little mixer here, locking that into place. There we go. And I'm gonna start off with a stir because of the powdered sugar. I don't want it going everywhere. Although it could be fun, you know, it's like snowing inside. I don't want to clean up the mess, okay? It already shoved some on the side here. Oh, and there is dust, regardless. Okay, it has whipped up pretty nicely. It's very thick. This is why you're supposed to use milk and not cream. Just saying. I've done it before, it's fine. Also, probably because the butter wasn't like fully, I want to say warm because it's cold. We're gonna mix that again. Okay, I think it is done mixing. Like I said, she thick. So basically I'm gonna take this icing, I'm gonna split it in 3 different bowls. You can do as many as you want or none at all if you wanna keep the frosting white. I'm gonna try doing 2 different colors, technically 3 because I'm gonna keep it one of them white to add a little more of that Christmas cheer. So I'm gonna do red and green, but I'm gonna have to split it 3 ways so that I have different bowls. Oh, God. Oh, there we go. Cody, I almost needed your help. My wrist. She's done. All right. I'm gonna try and split this evenly between my 3 bowls here. Also, in the past, when I've added food coloring, it does smooth it out a little bit more because you're adding kind of like more liquid to it. So I'm not too worried. All right. Okay, let me clean this up and I will show you the next step. I was at Bulk Barn yesterday and I came across these like gel food coloring things, Kelly green and red. Now, I cannot find anywhere online how much to mix. It just says not to exceed a certain amount per 100 grams. This is about 100 grams each, I guess. So I'm gonna start out with very little, and I don't wanna overdo it, but I'm worried that the red's gonna be pink and the green's gonna be like key lime pie green. We'll see. Okay, I'm gonna start with this one. We'll do green. All right, this is like a gel. And like the only instruction it said was to like start with like a toothpick and then mix it in. I just dipped the end of the knife. We're just putting that right in like that. I'm already stained. Okay, let me get the lid on that before something horrific happens. All right, okay. Okay, it's a little brighter than I wanted, as you can see. Also, my icing's very thick. Oh no, oh no, come back. Perhaps that's as good as it's gonna get. Maybe I'll do like a little pinch more. Okay. That's as green as that is. I'm gonna place it kind of near the stove to get a little bit of more warmth in that butter so it smooths out a little bit more. Okay, I'll just keep that as white. And I'll do the red in this one. I feel like I'm on another horror movie set, which I've been a part of many. I always die in them. All right. Although it does look like candy cane. It's gonna be pink. I can see it now. Got that Christmas pink. I'll add a little more, but it's a beautiful color. It's not Christmas. All right, little spoons, I'm gonna kind of clean up my table and it's gonna be time to start rolling these cookies out. Tabletop has been cleaned and sanitized. The first thing that we're going to do is sprinkle flour all over the table so we can start rolling out our dough. And honestly, I don't even measure. Sometimes I use a lot of flour and the cookies still turn out beautifully. Okay. Also, I left the other two dough flats in the fridge so that they could still continue firming up. I don't know how long it's been, 30 minutes, 45 minutes. But like I said, I'm impatient. Cover this. Now I have my rolling pin. I'm also going to cover this. The butter just makes it stick, so it's always an issue. I don't know how rolling on this is gonna be. So basically we wanna get the dough to 1/4 inch to 1/8 of an inch thick, and I just keep flipping it over. I think we're good there. Anyway, so now that we're rolled out, we're gonna take our cookie cutter and cut out the shapes. What I do every Christmas is a Christmas tree. It was always a Christmas tree, but this one I've been using since last year. From a cookie cutter I inherited from my grandmother. But yeah, it's very vintage and I just love it. So here we are, little Christmas tree. Let's see. Oh no. She's thin, but you know what? It's fine. It's fine. They cook faster. With that said, I also prepped a tray with parchment paper on it, as you can see. And I basically just I'm gonna put this here. And I basically just place them on the tray. And honestly, when I get into a flow of this, it goes by so fast. This is the last one. Kind of gets stuck. All right. You want to at least have 1 inch between your cookies because they will kind of like raise a little. You don't want the corners touching because then they'll just like meld together. We will put this together and continue rolling and cutting out more trees. So basically your oven's been preheated to 400. I'm gonna put these in and I'm gonna start at a 5-minute, 6-minute range. When the edges start to turn like a nice golden brown, pull it, they're done, and then you set them off to cool. So right now I'm gonna set a timer for 5 minutes and I'm gonna continue rolling and pressing. Okay. Going in. I would also like to say the cookie rack is in the middle of the oven. It's not at the top, it's not at the bottom, it's on the middle shelf. Oh no, it's sticking. Also, this is why you put it in the fridge because it's too soft, and as you're seeing here, it starts to bend. Okay, I just pulled the cookies from the oven. I just want to show you what I'm talking about when I mean golden brown. As you can see, the edges are starting to become that beautiful color because these cookies will stay white. The back, beautiful. So they're kind of cooled off. Not fully though, they're still very like fragile. And I'm going to put them on a plate to continue cooling off as like the system continues. Also, I know what you're thinking, like folding it and doing this several times doesn't make it flaky. No, the consistency is same with all the donuts, cookies. Jeez. The second batch is done. I'm gonna carry over my cookies to the other tray because it's still warm. Oh God. Okay, everyone calm down. There we go, my last cookie. A Christmas circle. All right, my little spoons, I'm gonna continue doing the baking. Once the cookies are done, I will be back to show you what to do next. All right, little spoons, all our cookies are done baking. Also for the icing, because it was like really thick and not really smoothing out, I added about half a teaspoon to a teaspoon of cream to each one. And like, it's really soft now and more pliable versus thick. These are what the cookies look like. They're all cooling off right now. Honestly, this is like the most tedious, and like as time passes, the worse decorating happens. As you can see, it's nice golden brown. It's still very soft. They are still fragile in this state, but I think now that this is not as like thick, it'll smooth on nicely. Obviously, you can do like a nice royal icing on them. I have still yet to perfect that. I tried it last year. It was okay. It's not like you see on all these Instagram stories and stuff where it like it stays and it's beautiful. I'm still trying to work out the consistency of that because you have to use like meringue powder and stuff. But this is what I have been doing for like the majority. Actually, it was only last year I tried royal icing. So basically almost 20 years doing this. It's fun, but tedious. And you could use a piping bag, I guess, but I literally just paint it on completely. Also, the nice thing about this is once they like are out for like overnight, essentially, once you're done decorating, it does harden up so you can put them in a container and stack them as well. This is like old school decorating, okay? I'm not perfect at it. So we have one cookie all done with icing. And of course I went to Bulk Barn and I got fun little sprinkles. So these ones are like sugar snowflakes. I don't know if you can see that. I'll show you. I don't even know if those are snowflakes. They look more like SpongeBob flowers, to be honest. I'm gonna place one there. And I don't know, like just random, like you could sprinkle it on. I'm trying to go for aesthetics here, okay? I want Nailed It to put me on the show. Oh no, that was two stuck together. Sheesh, it's harder than I thought. Okay.
So if you start this in January, it should be done by Christmas.
Sorry, like Cody, you're watching me like a hawk and I feel like I have to hurry in my decorating. Okay. It's so cute. Okay, one done. 1,000 more to go. Oh, how many did this make? 1, 2, 36 cookies. Okay, that's including the weird ones. Okay, I'm gonna do the red one / pink one next. Okay, beautiful. And I'm just gonna do some green, red, white sprinkles on that. Put that back on the tray. All right, little spoons, I'm gonna finish the rest off camera and then it's gonna be time for TTT, taste test time. All right, little spoons, I was gonna continue decorating, but Cody is chomping at the bit to do a taste test. This is what they look like. Nothing crazy fancy. I should really take decorating classes. They got that homemade look to it, okay? I'm gonna do a taste test. Oh, I love it, it smells so good. Oh. How do I explain? I feel like when I pass away and I enter heaven, this is what it would taste like. It is so good. It's sweet. It's salty. It's buttery, obviously. But like, there are so many layers to this like simple cookie. Like I can't explain it. Oh my God. And this is like why we eat 100 of them when I make them. Baked to perfection. Like it's got flakiness. It's still soft. Oh my God. And I love sprinkles. Like I put sprinkles on everything. Including my ice cream. And like it just adds like another texture and layer of fun to it. It's turned out fantastic as I predicted. Cody, here you are. I do kind of like it when the frosting does kind of harden up a bit because it adds like another layer of texture, but these are just so good. It's so good. Crispy outside, just beautiful. He's nodding his head in silence. And like, I know people really love sugar cookies. To me, butter cookies will always be superior. Especially these. If someone from Land O'Lakes is watching, like y'all figured it out. Again, but you can use any butter. I would just like to clarify, you can use any butter, okay? Clean Plate Club. I can always predict it with this, to be honest. Thank you, Little Spoons, for lasting this long in the video. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I'm so happy I was able to share another holiday tradition with everyone. And of course, you know it's good since I've been doing it for the last 20 years. I would like to thank Land O'Lakes for putting recipes in their butter packaging, because I would have never stumbled across this recipe if you hadn't. I will find the original packaging somewhere and frame it, because honestly, this is the best cookie I've ever made besides Maddie Matheson's chocolate chip cookies. That was a fail in the one video, but I figured it out and they were fantastic. I love butter cookies over sugar cookies, and I think this is like such a fun tradition to continue every holiday season. My family requests it, and of course, I make it for myself. It's got like a nice crisp exterior, nice flaky center. The buttercream on top really adds a nice flavor. Adding sprinkles really does add that extra texture. Once the buttercream also kind of hardens, it adds another layer of texture. And of course, it does work well with royal icing and other type of icings as well. It's so versatile and so delicious. I love it so much, and I'm just happy I was able to share that with everyone. Anyway, thank you, my little spoons. And you know what? Butter cookies. See ya.